You know what's frustrating? Finding a census record from 1870 for your ancestor, and then suddenly, it's like they fell off the face of the earth. You can't find a death record, you can't find a marriage record, no immigration record, nothing. It's one of the biggest reasons people give up on genealogy. But here's the crazy part. A lot of the time, your ancestor is not actually missing, they're hiding. Hidden behind bad handwriting, spelling mistakes, wrong ages, missing pages, or records you never thought to search. And today, I want to show you why this happens and how experienced genealogists find people that beginners completely miss. Once you understand these patterns, you'll start seeing records differently. And suddenly, brick walls start cracking. One of the biggest mistakes most of us make in the beginning is trusting the search box too much. Genealogy websites make us think that if we just type in the right name, the right record will magically appear. But genealogy doesn't work like Google. Old records are messy. Names were constantly misspelled. Ages changed from census to census. Birthplaces drifted around. And sometimes the person giving the information barely knew the family at all. Think about census records. The information may have come from a neighbor, a child, or whoever happened to answer the door that day. If your ancestor had a strong accent, that created even more problems. A German surname might be spelled 3 different ways in the same decade. Women are especially difficult to track because names changed after marriage, and first names were often shortened or Americanized. Catherine became Kate. Giuseppe became Joseph or John. Johann became John. One of the best tricks I can give you is this. Stop searching for perfection. Instead of searching for an exact name, search for pieces of a person. Search by a first name only, an approximate birth year, the names of children, an occupation, or even the street where the family lived. Experienced genealogists search loosely first and narrow things down later. The more details you add to a search, the easier it becomes to accidentally filter out the correct person. Another huge reason people disappear is bad indexing. Many online records were indexed by volunteers trying to read difficult handwriting. Other collections were indexed by computer programs trying to interpret faded documents. Mistakes happen all the time. I once found a surname indexed so badly, I never would have discovered it through a normal search. The only reason I located the family was because I searched for one of their neighbors instead. And that leads to one of the most powerful genealogy strategies there is. Research the people around your ancestor, not just the ancestor. Friends, neighbors, witnesses, godparents, and travel companions can all leave clues behind. Families rarely moved alone. Entire communities migrated together. So if your ancestor suddenly appears in Ohio after living in Pennsylvania, look at who moved nearby. You may discover cousins, siblings, or in-laws hiding in plain sight. Sometimes the fastest way to find your ancestor is to stop searching for them directly. Another mistake that traps a lot of researchers is searching only the big genealogy websites. I love sites like Ancestry and Family Search. They are fantastic tools, but not every record is online there. In fact, huge amounts of genealogical material still exist only in local libraries, county courthouses, church archives, university collections, and small-town historical societies. Some of the best records are sitting in places most people never think to research. And here's something beginners often don't realize. When a genealogy website says no records found, what it sometimes really means is we don't have that collection. That's a big difference. The record may exist perfectly fine somewhere else. Another common problem is that people focus only on major life records like births, marriages, and deaths. But experienced genealogists know the real clues are often hiding in smaller records. City directories, newspapers, probate files, land records, church records, draft cards, school records, and tax lists can fill in huge gaps. Newspapers alone can completely transform your research. You may discover family arguments, business advertisements, social visits, school achievements, accidents, or even recipes your ancestors submitted to a local paper. Sometimes newspapers tell you more about a person's life than a census ever could. Something else that surprises many people is how often ancestors moved around. We tend to imagine our ancestors staying in one town forever, but many families moved constantly for work, farming opportunities, railroads, mining jobs, or economic survival. County boundaries changed too. A record created in one county in 1850 may belong to a completely different county today. So if you are searching only modern maps, you may be searching in the wrong place entirely. Historical maps can be one of the most underrated tools in genealogy research. And finally, let's talk about something newer that is changing genealogy quickly: artificial intelligence. AI is becoming incredibly useful for reading old handwriting, summarizing documents, comparing records, and suggesting alternate spellings and translations. I recently tested several transcription tools on old handwritten documents, and some performed surprisingly well, especially on difficult handwriting. Now, you still need to verify everything yourself. AI is not perfect, but for many genealogists, it is becoming like a research assistant sitting beside you, helping you work through difficult records faster. The truth is, genealogy has never really been about collecting names. It's about solving mysteries. And every missing ancestor is a mystery waiting to be solved. So if someone in your tree seems to have vanished, don't assume the trail is over. Sometimes the answer is sitting in a record you skipped, under a spelling you never considered, inside a county you weren't searching, or next door to the family you were actually looking for. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which ancestor in your tree has been the hardest to find? Let me know in the comments. If you found this information helpful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more genealogy tips, free research tools, and family history strategies made simple. And one more thing before you go. Check out this video right here about free genealogy websites that can help you uncover records you may have never seen before. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your research, and I'll see you in the next one.